What you need to know before applying for bankruptcy in England. First, bankruptcy adjudicator demands more evidence. 2, what happens if you hide your assets? 3, beware of bankruptcy scams. 4, time is ticking. Get bankruptcy order before 31st of December 2020. The first one, bankruptcy adjudicator demands more evidence. If bankruptcy adjudicator demands more evidence, that means when people from European Union, say Lithuanian national living in England, they have debts back in Lithuania, cannot pay them, let's say 30,000 euros, they file their application to the adjudicator, formally judge online, and then the adjudicator can ask for more evidence of their life in England and Wales. Evidence could include pay slips, bank statements, letters with benefits, utility bills. Bank statements quite crucial. It means the bankruptcy adjudicator becoming much more aware of things that's been happening recently. There are quite a few people who decided to use bankruptcy in England to their advantage, but had no right to do so. They never lived in England, they've heard about an option, pay advisors substantial amounts of money, and their bankruptcy didn't go through. So it's becoming increasingly tough and becoming increasingly more scrutinous from the bankruptcy adjudicator points of view to file for bankruptcy in England. However, if you have evidence, if you can prove it, then the bankruptcy can be approved within, I would say, 5 to 7 days. Next, what happens if you hide your assets? What happens if you hide your assets? Right. That's a really interesting question. I would like to spend a bit more time answering that. I already asked you a question, but I'll answer them in a minute. Okay, first, I just want to say, what happens if you hide assets in bankruptcy? Well, the thing is, if the bankruptcy includes all the assets all around the world, in England, yes, it's difficult to trace. However, it's your legal right to include that. And if it's included in your bankruptcy, then it may be sold. If it's not sold, then you can negotiate about buying back your share. So overall, if, let's say, you did not include, forgot about it, went bankrupt in England, a few years later, maybe 5 or 6, your property that you did not include in bankruptcy in England just came up live, then a bankruptcy adjudicator can still go after that property because it was not disclosed properly in England. So do not hide your assets. They need to be disclosed. And number 2. Scams. What exactly that means? There are more and more companies who set up their businesses just yesterday or maybe last year. They realized that with their big money could be made in bankruptcies. So they advise people who are based in Lithuania or Latvia to go bankrupt in England online. They help them. They take maybe between 5,000 to 10,000 pounds just for their services, then they disappear. Those people who trusted into those advisors' hands their future, perhaps their family's future, become victims of bankruptcy scams. So do not fall a victim of bankruptcy scam. Make sure you check the reputation of the company you're going to work with. Company who provides bankruptcy advice and services has got to be all authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, as my company's got that authorization, or by Solicitors Authorization Authority. So they need to be solicitors, okay, or they need to have a license. Let's put it that way, authorization from FCA, Financial Conduct Authority. So be very careful and check those credentials before you decide with what company you're going to work with. Check their website, check their cases, ask those questions. If they had any unsuccessful clients, talk to them. Next, time is ticking. Get bankruptcy order before 31st of December 2020. So why is that so important? The bankruptcy law work for European Union borrowers as long as England remains in European Union. They decided to leave, they're leaving, so important to get your bankruptcy order before 31st of December 2020. What that will give you. Let's say you have creditors in Lithuania, you cannot pay your debts, and then you file for bankruptcy in England. If bankruptcy order is made before that date, the end of the year, then it means it will have to be recognized without any further formalities as application to the court in Lithuania in that country. So important to bear in mind that day. We have still a few months to go, so think carefully about bankruptcy. After that day, we're not entirely sure how easy that will be for Lithuanian debtor to file for bankruptcy in England and then nicely to write off those debts. So we're not quite sure. So think about those points, bear them in mind.